Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. My name is Mark Roden, and in today's video we're going to be going over the 5 reasons you should and the 5 reasons you should not buy a Dodge Neon SRT4. The way these videos work, in case you're new here, is I go over one reason you should, then one reason you shouldn't, then one reason you should, then one reason you shouldn't, until we get to 10 total, 5 of each, and then at the end of the video I tell you my final thoughts on whether or not I think you should buy the car. Sound good? Sound good. Media of the day is Call of Duty World War II. I think this is one of the most underrated Call of Duties of all time, period. I think it's one of the best, top 5 easily. The campaign, kind of mid, zombies, kind of mid. But if you're a multiplayer guy, it's absolutely incredible. If you don't like multiplayer, then yeah, probably not. Probably stay away from COD World War II. But if you like the multiplayer, it is incredible. It's so much fun, so much stuff to work towards. All the guns feel different and unique, and there's tons of them. The maps are super cool. Great multiplayer, incredible multiplayer. Go give it a try if you haven't already. But without further ado, let's get right into it with the 5 reasons you should and the 5 reasons you should not buy a Dodge Neon SRT4. First off, first reason you should buy a Dodge Neon SRT4 is simple: the tuning potential. Yeah, it's kind of like what they're known for, honestly, at this point. The SRT4 Neons have a 2.4 liter turbocharged inline 4 making 230 horsepower, and they are front wheel drive. Man, it took me back to my cheap car video days, but no, that's what they come with, and that motor is very, very good for building power. There's plenty of Dodge SRT4 Neons with 400, 500 horsepower, and you may be scratching your head thinking to yourself, that's not that great. And yeah, on paper it isn't, but you gotta remember it's in a Dodge Neon. The car weighs like, what, 200, 300 more pounds than a Miata? So obviously, that horsepower goes a very, very long way. The SRT4 is modified all the time. It's actually very hard to find these stock now because of how legendary the tuning potential of the motor actually is. Also, the PT Cruiser GT came with this motor, so if you want a little bit of a sleeper, there you go. However, reason number 1 why I think you should not buy a Dodge Neon SRT4 is, unfortunately, the downside of having such a lightweight car: the space. Yeah, you don't really notice how important these are until you buy one. Ask me how I know. But when I bought my Integra, I'm a 6'1" guy. When I bought my Integra, I was going to use it as a daily, and I wasn't really thinking. I wasn't using my noggin. I didn't realize that these lightweight cars, the SRT4 and Miatas, 90s Hondas, are lightweight because there's nothing there. There's no room, and that is exactly how the SRT4 is. Yes, it's a sedan, but the back seats might as well not even exist. The trunk space might as well not even exist. And your headroom and legroom and arm room in an SRT4 Neon is going to leave some room to be desired, to say the least. However, reason number 2 why I think you should buy an SRT4 Neon is the price. Now, there's no denying the fact, I want to make it crystal clear, that the SRT4 Neon is becoming more and more expensive as days go on. Back in 2016, 2017, you could buy an SRT4 Neon for $3 grand, $2 grand, and it'd be perfectly fine, no issues, bone stock. Now, if you want a perfectly fine, no issues, bone stock, lower mileage SRT4, yes, you're looking at $7, $8, even maybe $10,000 in some cases. They're getting more and more expensive, but so is everything. It's 2026. There's not very many cars out there that are under $5,000 anymore that are actually worth the price, and an SRT4 Neon is worth the price that people are asking for. Is it still going to be a little bit more expensive than what I and most likely you are wishing? Absolutely, but the price is still cheap. However, reason number 2 why I think you should not buy an SRT4 Neon is 100% personal preference. I want to make that crystal clear, but it's the looks of them. I have my personal opinion is that I think the SRT4 Neon is a fine looking car. I don't think it's great looking. I just not like blows my mind when I see a Neon. I don't think they're beautiful cars, but I also don't think they're ugly. But I have heard a lot of people in the car community and a lot of my friends and people just around me say that the Neon is a very bad looking car. People do not like how the Neon looks. They think it's a very ugly car. Again, I personally disagree with that. I don't think it's very ugly. I don't think it's great, again, but I just wanted to put it out there that if you're like trying to buy a car for like attention or some case, and like you want people to like be looking at your car, breaking your neck at your car, maybe the Neon isn't for you. However, reason number 3 why I think you should buy a Dodge Neon is, simply put, the reliability of this car. Yeah, the motor is not only good for building power, but it's also just good as a daily. These, I had, again, for those who don't know, fun fact, a sad fact really, my first ever car as a car guy was a PT Cruiser. I know, but yeah, I had a PT Cruiser and I loved it. I didn't like how it looked, obviously, because who does? But it never gave me any problems motor or transmission wise. Did the car give me some other problems here and there? Sure. The suspension failed at one point. Well, it didn't fail, but it was going at one point. There were some other problems there here and there too. But in terms of motor and transmission, it was extremely reliable. And there's no denying the fact that these cars are extremely, extremely reliable. The motors will go until 300,000 miles, no real issue, as long as you maintain it. And reason number 3 why I think you should not buy a Dodge Neon SRT4 is the stock performance. Yeah, I mean, this is the downside with these smaller, lighter weight cars. A lot of the times when they're bone stock, they're just not going to be that fun. I mean, 230 horsepower is not something that's like laughable, you know, like that's still admirable. 230 horsepower is still decent no matter how heavy the car is. It's still going to be at least a little bit fun, but it's just not great. Obviously, it also is a front wheel drive car, and this suspension is just going to be a little bit soft. But don't worry, that's not me saying that the car itself is going to be boring. It just takes a little bit of modifications, which, as we already discussed, is pretty easy to do with these cars. They have very good tuning potential. All kinds of companies make parts for them and things like that. So you can very easily just buy some stiffer suspension, buy some bolt-ons, and make the car even more fun. With that being said, my good friend, reason number 4 why I think you should buy an SRT4 Neon is, of course, the fact that they are lightweight and a manual transmission. Unfortunately, they are front-wheel drive, which we'll talk about in a second, actually, but lightweight and manual cars, doesn't matter what they are, man, is just perfect. Like, if you don't appreciate a lightweight manual transmission car, I hate to be the bearer of bad news, my good friend, but there's a good chance you're just not a car guy. Like that's just all there is to it. Every car guy in the world wants their cars to be lighter. Every car guy in the world wants their cars to have a manual transmission, and a Dodge Neon SRT4 has both of those things from factory. That's not including any sort of weight reduction you decide to do. Obviously, these cars are sedans, so there is a lot of weight reduction to do to them if you want to make them even lighter. However, like I said earlier, reason number 4 why I think you should not buy a Dodge Neon SRT4 is the fact that they are wrong wheel drive. Yeah, man. I mean, front wheel drive, it's just, I have a front wheel drive car. For those who don't know, I have an Acura Integra, and my first car was a PT Cruiser that was also front wheel drive. My second car was a Nissan 350Z, and of all the cars I've owned, the 350Z was the most fun, and it's also the heaviest. So it's just like, yeah, you can have a lightweight car, yeah, it could be manual transmission, but if it's front wheel drive, I mean, man, just love that rear wheel drive aspect of driving cars. Now, there are definitely going to be some people out there that disagree with that, and people that enjoy the feeling of driving a front wheel drive car. Fair enough. If that's you, awesome, congratulations. And there's no real downside to a Dodge Neon, honestly, but for most people, I feel like rear wheel drive is what they're mostly looking for, and this car is unfortunately that's just not possible. And reason number 5 why I think you should buy a Dodge Neon SRT4, and the final reason why I think you should buy one, at least for today's video, is the fact that they are a good investment. Yeah, like I said earlier, back in 2016, 2017, these cars were $2 grand, $3 grand, $4 grand. Nowadays, they're $6 grand, $7 grand, $8 grand, and that's just 10 years, and they doubled in price. Imagine what's going to happen 10 more years from now when there's still people that want them, still plenty of people that are wanting these cars, if not more people that want these cars. As a matter of fact, now that those people are starting to get of age to the point where they can afford to buy the cars, and there's even less out there that are actually stock and untouched. If you decide to buy a Dodge Neon SRT4, and for some reason you don't want to modify it, you don't want to change it up, you just want to keep it pretty and enjoy it, whatever it may be, just in its bone stock nature, it's actually a very good investment in the long term. You will not lose money on your Dodge Neon SRT4, most likely. However, reason number 5 why I think you should not buy a Dodge Neon SRT4, and the final reason why I think you should not buy a Dodge Neon SRT4 for today's video, of course, is the fact that they are sketchy to go look at. Yeah, these cars are 20 years old at this point, 25 even in some cases, and there's just no denying the fact that cars that get to that age are always going to be a little bit sketchy, whether it's the people selling them or just the hidden damages, hidden problems that the car might end up having just due to age that aren't exactly noticeable right out of the get-go. It's just always more sketchy to go look at something like this than it is go look at like a 2019 Dodge at a dealership, you know what I mean? Because again, it's just not only other people that are buying them, people that might not be the most trustworthy people, but also they're just so old at this point that they could be hiding a lot of things. But my final thoughts, do I think that you should buy a Dodge Neon SRT4? I think they're a good option for a fun, lightweight project car, but for any kind of like daily driver or something like that, I would stay away from it personally. If you can find a really low mileage and well-kept one for cheap, which is very hard to do, then yes, they can be good dailies for like a car guy, but they're just a bit small, even for car guys, and for a regular person that isn't looking for anything that's any sort of fun or cool or whatever it may be, then they're just bad altogether. And again, it's just so hard to find one that is like that like if you buy a low mileage, well kept, bone stock Dodge Neon SRT4 that's going to be reliable and be a good daily driver, you're going to be spending like 2015 Accord money, and at that point, why not just get the 2015 Accord? You know what I mean? I feel like it's just a better option overall for a daily driver. But for a fun, lightweight project car to build up into a little autocross demon, a hill climb demon, time attack demon, whatever it may be, canyon carver, yeah, I think they're an incredible option for that. That's kind of what they've built their reputation on, and it makes total sense why. But ladies and gentlemen, that is the end of today's video on the 5 reasons you should and the 5 reasons you should not buy a Dodge Neon SRT4. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel for more content just like this. Let me know what videos you'd like to see in the comment section down below. Check the links in the description for any of my other social medias or any of my other YouTube channels or any of that great Momo Jumbo. And as always, guys, when it comes to the good, bad, and uglies and the 5 reasons you should and 5 reasons you should not buy style videos, I always go off of recommendations. So if you guys would like to see your car in one of these videos, please leave a comment below letting me know about your car. Next 5 reasons you should and 5 reasons you shouldn't video is going to be on the BMW E34. I saw a comment talking about that, and I don't think I've ever like talked about that car on this channel. Never made any sort of good, bad, and ugly. Never made any sort of 5 reasons you should. I probably mentioned it a couple times in like cheap car videos and stuff like that, but besides that, I really don't talk about those cars too much. And so I was like, yeah, why not? That'll be a fun one. So that's what we're going to be doing for the next 5 reasons you should, but I'm always open for suggestions. Okay. Thank you guys so much for watching. Guys, I've been so frustrated because tomorrow's video is going to be, by the way, probably a cheap cars video. Probably going to be the top 25 cheap 4-cylinder cars. I think that's what we're going to do, and then we'll do the 6 cylinders and then 8 cylinders after that. But yeah, I think that's what tomorrow's video is going to be. But you know what's been so annoying? I have a MacBook Air that I do all my work on, and I record gameplay for one of my other YouTube channels called Giggity Plays, shameless plug, but I record gameplay on it, and I recorded gameplay yesterday, and now all of a sudden I can't download it. It says I don't have any disk space. So I go to check, and I don't have anything downloaded. 170 gigabytes. It's a 250 gigabyte computer. 170 gigabytes of those 250 gigabytes are taken up by system storage or something, some weird system thing. I can't figure out what that means. I've been trying. I'm not a tech guy at all. I don't know anything about technology or whatever. It is so frustrating, and I'm like trying to figure this out. I looked it up, like a Reddit post, like of people talking about it and like how they dealt with it, and they were using like commands. They were like typing in like code on the thing. I don't even know how to access that, man. Just why is this happening? I do have a hard drive. It's like a 1 terabyte hard drive, but I don't know where it is, and it's so annoying. I don't know where. Actually, I think it's over here. Ah, yeah, there it is, actually. Okay, it was right here. It was to my left. I got this bad boy right here, but I plug it in, and it just keeps trying to go onto the freaking computer's hard drive. I don't know how to, like, download it onto this hard drive, you know what I mean? I hate technology. It is so confusing and so annoying. I downloaded this app called, what is it called? I don't remember what it's called. It's, Omni Disk Sweeper, because one of the Reddit guys said that this will help you figure it out. It didn't. All it did was scan 61 gigabytes. Where's the other 200, man? What is going on? Oh my god, it's so annoying. I hate technology, man. I don't know how people do it. Anyways, that is the end of today's video. I just rambled on. I just wanted to vent to you guys real quick because I'm so annoyed. It's so frustrating. But das vidanya, and have a nice night.